Hello guys, and we are here again, Hogwarts Legacy reaction, and let's see what the new we have to the table. The update is so good and the new informations are awesome, as I heard. And now I also watching first time with you, and let's go to the video.
I hope you're ready because Hogwarts Legacy copies are officially out in the wild, which means the next
All
week
right.
is likely going to become very interesting. Also,
All
a ton
right.
of new gameplay reveals and interviews to talk about, new mount footage, and much more. Now let's get started with a brand new footage of the majestic Hippogriff
Okay,
Mount,
this
one of our trusty companions that we'll get to rescue at some point in the main story.
this will be our
The game
mount,
actually features
maybe.
two of these.
Yeah, it
One
should be.
acquired from the story, which is the white one, and the second Onyx Hippogriff that you get from pre-ordering the game.
Yes, I know for this one.
Info if there's any difference.
Okay, so you get one from the pre-order the game. If you pre-ordered, good for you. If you not, pre-order the game if you want this Hippogriff. And the other one we get from the quests, from the story. That's good. We will help both.
One a bit faster when first starting out the game.
Nice.
And I would imagine gameplay,
yeah, as we said before,
going to be much of a difference either. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said about the Thestral, which I was still kind of keeping hopes high there would be an in-game variant of at some point. But after asking the official support page, they did confirm that there's no other means to unlock another Thestral through normal gameplay. Instead, you either have to buy the deluxe edition or buy the pack for you to get deluxe anyway, for the extra dark arts cosmetics, the arena, and especially the 72-hour early access.
So you saw now, that's how we will get these, and I will probably go for the Anema.
Already been spotted out in the wild, and with such an anticipated release, I just don't think the street date will last long before being broken. God of War Ragnarok had a notoriously tight embargo, and still, copies already got out over a week in advance. Good news though, if you do play on Steam early with the Deluxe Edition and only have one copy and are also on a tighter budget, one copy is enough for family sharing to benefit from the 72-hour early access. This means that if you have a friend or a sibling, both of you can play via family share and still both benefit from the early release. And
okay, this is actually great news, guys. This is a good news that you can get early and play the game with your family or friends if you have this edition. So that's a good move from them.
Speaking of that, the embargo for content creators also lifts when the early access starts, so February 7th as well, which means, yeah, expect walkthroughs and gameplay to drop starting that date. By the way, if you want to play...
Yeah, that's also fair. It's not fair to streamers or other guys to get before everybody else.
And the New Zealand trick is still likely going to be your best friend. For PC and Xbox, it's pretty much easy since you can use a VPN or just change your country or region to New Zealand and get like an 8-hour advantage. For PlayStation users, it's a bit more complicated.
Oh, this is good. You can play with VPN earlier. Okay, they all gonna abuse that now. Okay.
As it requires both creating a New Zealand account and buying the game via the New Zealand PlayStation Network, but you only have to do that once and you'll be able to do this for all future releases. Anyway, we have a lot more info coming our way from the Hogwarts Legacy advanced game designer over at Avalanche Studio, who did shed a bit more light on how
combat is so good. I like combat very much, guys.
In the game. On the subject of season
very good.
And how the passage of time is represented, he mentions that the passing of seasons works exactly as seen in the films and the books. This means that it's closely linked to the narrative, and as the story progresses, a new season begins in which a new one is inaugurated. So yeah, I'm totally expecting to maybe start the game towards the end of the summer, then transition into autumn, then winter, and then spring before maybe the game finishing off with summer all over again. Is how house choices will influence your gameplay. So it seems that there will be indeed effects on certain missions, others on the setting, which I'm not sure if it's translated correctly, maybe on the ambience. I'm getting a second translation on it as well, but he does mention that in general this is going to be very important which house you do choose. We also know that different houses will have different side quests you can go and like get and complete, and likely unique rewards attached to them, hence why the game supports so many, well, separate character save files.
I like the Gryffindor actually. It's good. Not because Harry and Ron was there, Hermione, but this look very good. I like the ambient in this house. But as they say, it will be important. So it left us to see why some choices will be more important than the others. That we
So you
that we will see with when the game comes
can
and the
go ahead,
reviews.
have a ton of replayability, and create other characters for other houses in mind. But moving on in terms of story difficulty, as I know there were a few of you guys asking me this, yeah, we got more info also via another content creator who goes by the name of Tiffany Dalton, so I'm gonna link her channel down below, but she did play on the story mode, and there's a couple of other differences that I saw when replaying her gameplay, and a couple of other changes I noticed was the fact that countering enemies is a lot more forgiving than some of the higher difficulties, plus your character will take significantly less damage from combat spell attacks. This on top of the fact that
of course, that should be normal. Less difficulty, less damage. More harder game, more harder difficulty, more damage you get, and you have a little less chance to survive. So I think that is rational and that is normal there, and that is a good job for the development team.
mini games on story mode cannot fail, plus the puzzles won't be time sensitive on that mode, which should make for a pretty relaxed, well, experience for those who don't want much of a challenge. Great to hear though is
that's good because most of us don't have time to play like 10 hours a day, so that will be good thing in the game. You can come from your job, relax, play the game on easier difficulty just because of the story and because of this wonderful game, how it looks by now, and you will be fine with this game. You will not miss anything. So that is a good job from the development team, and I'm happy that I heard that.
that you deal still about the same damage as on the other difficulties, so victories should still feel earned, which I think is a nice balance even if you do go on the lower difficulties.
This
Now,
combat
a
looks
slightly
good.
more controversial view I've seen over the past few days, and especially since the recent previews got published, is that some people felt that NPCs seemed a bit too static in some of the released footage. But after my time spent with the game, doing quite a bit more on top of what I was able to record, I can definitely tell you that this game has by far the least static or boring NPCs I've seen so far. Literally every single place I went into had tons of students doing something at all times. Some were practicing their spells,
So that is not true what others said.
others were playing different wizarding sports,
This is
others were
good.
practicing their skills. Most of them also engaged in conversations, moved around, and did a whole bunch of stuff that, like, I've seen some of the other gameplay footage
We're gonna play some Quidditch, boys.
that I did not even know there were those interactions in the game. Many even made remarks about their own achievements or the player achievements before moving on, and like this just covers the bare minimum of it. You will constantly see students fly by, and by the way, also like random events happening, including the one with Peeves messing around with students. It's only one example, but there's many more that trigger in certain areas at specific times by just like going by, and even Peeves will appear in other areas too. Furthermore, the game's designer confirmed Hogwarts is full of interactions, and their goal was to make the school a living element of the world. Just wandering the corridors, you come across many puzzles that require to use the right spell at the right time for them to be solved. I don't want to give too many spoilers, he says, but I guarantee there is a lot to discover, specifically when talking about the castle. Furthermore, I think it became more clear to everyone that spells don't have just one use, and instead tons of environmental interactions and uses as well.
Okay, this looks
what
nice.
We saw is just a glimpse, but lots of
This is a puzzles. Yeah, it is. I think it is a puzzle. Yeah, this looks good. I actually like
puzzles
this.
and exploration elements will require you to use lots of your spells. The same interview mentions that it was very important if it was decided to add a particular spell, that spell should be able to be exploited in a whole bunch of different ways. Precisely for that reason, the game world offers several opportunities to solve all the little secrets that they scattered around. So that sounds really cool to me. Now,
Yeah, it
on a more
is.
technical related note, but despite recent delays for the old gen and Switch versions, the game still will drop on the Steam Deck on its regular date, which is February 7th or 10th, depending if you get the deluxe edition or not, with the official support account confirming that the game will be Steam Deck verified on launch day. For the other handheld variant, even though the Switch version has been pushed back to July 23rd, devs still confirm they are doing everything in their power to make sure it's both beautiful and well optimized.
Yeah, I believe this is hard to optimize for every platform, which for some people is not fair, but we have it is what it is now. And good luck to all, guys. If you like this video, this will be the end. If you like this video by far, leave a like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot for this channel in order to grow and in order to give more reactions about the games, generally the games, not just Hogwarts. So see you in the next video, and bye bye, guys. Enjoy.
For all platforms, and that the